before being X1. Intake videos here. This is the AFE Power GT Momentum. That's our intake portion, and then this is going to be our metal charge pipe with no reducer or no resonator on it. Because right now we got that big old box there, and this intake situation just is not right. I did this a couple months ago. You can see the MAF sensor's not even seated properly. Intake's just exposed. It's burnt out. It's not even attached properly. Taking all that out. So all of this sits proper. This is how big the cone should be. So it's a little bit longer, not as fat though. So it'll fit inside of that big old box. Go right there. So far, all I've done is I removed the two panels on the side. I removed the big black panel that was right there, and those were all 8mm screws that look like these. That panel, and that panel. This opened up the heat shield, and then there's this bar that'll stretch all the way across, and that's 4 10mm bolts. And that went into those two right there, and those two right there. So the next step that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove those 4 screws, or just 3, and I'm gonna try and take out that portion of the heat shield. And it looks like there's just those wires connected there. This is on a little clamp. And then if you look down there, it's on another clamp. So that shouldn't be too hard to take out. Let me do that real quick. So I also popped the engine cover off. It's very easy. You just pry up. It's connected on those little ball joints. Very easy. So this clip right here is going to be a little bit in your way. After you move those 3 torque screws, they'll make a little clicking noise when you run them out all the way. So don't pull them out. You don't need to. So this clip's pretty easy. All you're going to do is you're going to push down and pull. Might be able to do it with one hand, just like that. And then you can just pop your cable out, make it a little bit easier for us to get it out. And there's this clip here. Let me mess with it and I'll show you how to get it. Okay, so I had a little bit of trouble with it. It wasn't terrible, but what I had to do is just take a flathead and kind of push on it a little bit right there, and I could pop one of them up. The other one didn't want to come out, but I had enough room that I could very lightly pick this up and push them out of it. So that was very easy. So now that that's out, I'm going to take the whole heat shield out. So I think to get the heat shield out, I have to take this out too. So I just went ahead and took off the intake so I had more room. So this is the little MAF sensor that could. It's been seated like that for over a year. I don't know how everything was okay besides a few misfires, but I'm going to make a lamp out of that because that is just crazy. But you're going to take out whatever was there before. I think that's for your stock original airbox screw. So that makes it kind of easy. And then there's another 8mm right there. And then just pop that panel off. All right, so that side's hung up on something down there. And I don't know exactly what it's hung up on. And I don't have a pick to pull on the screw or push on it from the back. But I was able to pull this up just enough over the top of that to where I can access the clamp for the charge pipe, which is that little ring right there. You can see just a little bit poking out. So you got to pull that outwards to get that off, and then the charge pipe should come free after you remove, where is it? Oh, my phone zoomed in. That bolt right there. All right, so that clip was kind of tricky to get out, and I put on exam gloves, just nitrile gloves now because we're dealing with air and I don't want excess stuff in the motor that this is the charge pipe. But I put a screwdriver on the back of here, kind of pulled it out, stuck my thumb in it, and you can kind of brute force it out because it's just compressing on the inside and outside. I don't even think C-clamp spreaders would work for that, but it works good. So now we can take the charge pipe out, which should just lift up. Actually, no, it shouldn't because there's a plug in the back. That needs to get undone. Is that plug right there with all the yellow wires, I believe. So let me try and get that out. And then there's this right here, which is super easy, and you just pinch on the sides and pull that out. All right, so getting this plug down here out of the charge pipe is a little bit tricky. So what I did is I took a pair of pliers and I very gently popped that off. I also put a paper towel on the inlet of the charge pipe down there. I don't even know if you can really see it, but just to keep it clean, I'm gonna put something right there too, just in case, but it's going good. All right, so I just got the whole charge pipe out, pinched that off, and then there was a little clip in the back but it was really easy to get out. So now I'm gonna start fitting the new charge pipe in. If we look down there, there is our miniature little turbo. It's actually the first time I've ever been able to see it. And then it looks like that right there is our electronic wastegate. That's what my guess would be. But nice. Oh, that thing needs to come out. No more catalytic converter. Alrighty, let's get her done. So I got the old one out. These clips were so dry rotted right when I was pushing in and pulling out, just cracked. So I got the new pipe plugged into the sensor. So now there's a little red sensor right there, which is gonna plug into here. And then that is gonna go into here. But first I need to get the C-clip plugged in on there. And that's gonna be a little bit tricky, so give me a minute. So, new charge pipe is fitted in. Screw holes lined up to pop the screw back in there. This is sitting right on that little rubber fitting there. So I gotta reconnect my hoses, but first of all, this C-clamp's gotta go on. And this thing is gonna go up on with these little pins facing up and this little back clip facing out. So this is gonna be tricky, so bear with me while I pop this on. Don't that look good? Just hit my head on the hood. All right, so I got it on. It was a little bit tricky, but the pin is on there, as you can see. So now we're gonna reconnect all of our sensors and whatnot, put that screw back in, and that was with a, I can't even remember, let me check. T27. So let's do it to it. So this is the OEM screw that it came with, and when I tried to put it back in, this is just a little bit thinner than the old clip that was on this one by about 3 or 4 times. So we're gonna need to grab a washer or two and then put that on there and it should come together straight. So I just grab what looks to be like a 1/4-inch washer. So now that should go on way better. Wish Cobalt would sponsor me. I love their tools so much. I feel like they're pretty underrated, honestly. Yikes. All right, so that's way better. She is on there now, so now we can go ahead and take all of our sensors, gently reconnect those, take out our paper towel, clamp that back down. So now all of our sensors are reconnected and the new charge pipe is hooked up. All right, so now that that part of the charge pipe is in and everything's hooked up, we got to take out the rest of our air system. So right here is 2 10mm. Take it out, take it out. I get these little magnetic bowls from OEM Tools. It's like 26 bucks for 4 of them. Absolutely love them. It keeps all my stuff super organized. You can just take that out, put that in a good spot. And then it looks like we're gonna have, I'm gonna go ahead and take a wild guess there. Say another 10mm. So we'll take that out too and then take that airbox out. All right, so now I'm popping on this AFE power reducer, and I was able to pop this on really easy by just sticking my hand inside of it and kind of popping it on. It is made of silicone, so it's super easy. And I used this little worm gear clamp from the Dinan set because it was just wider, fit way better. So now I need to tighten that clip, and then we're gonna get our MAF sensor housing and get that set up, which I think I'm gonna put the intake on that first and then slide it in the housing. And then there's this little optional plug that goes right there, and you can put it on there if you just want it to suck cold air from the front. You leave it out, your turbo is going to be a little bit louder, sound louder. Definitely will now since the reducer's gone on there, but do as you please. I mean, you can try both. It's pretty easy to get to, but just don't be dropping in your engine bay. So I'm going to tighten that up and I'll get back at you. All right, so now that that's on, let's take another one of our C-clamps, or worm gear clamps, and that came with the AFE power set. And we'll unbox this cone. I'm gonna throw gloves on again, just because why not? I wanna keep it as clean as possible. And then I purchased a new MAF sensor because of the last situation. If you watch the intake video, I think I show you how I shaved it down. It was a terrible idea, the previous one at least. So these screws are from the AFE power set. These are the MAF sensor screws that'll fit. There's the brand new MAF sensor. It's crazy, those things are like 150 bucks just for a little sensor. Gotta do what you gotta do though, I guess. Let's let's get started. All right, so I went ahead and I put that nut back on, that nut back on, that bolt. Intake was really easy. All you had to do is just put that little screw clamp on, and then the intake fits right inside of there. I left the cap out, so then all I had to do is angle my reducer nicely so that it would fit. You can see which way I oriented it. There's no major bends in it. That's just gonna expand as it grows bigger and whatnot. So now I'm gonna get the map sensor hooked in, and then I'm gonna do a first startup. All right, so that's it. All hooked up. All we need to do is put all the rest of the trim back in the car. MAP sensor seated properly. Make sure you pop that little white button in there too. That fully secures it. There's one on the back of there as well, but you should have already taken care of that. It's the same process for taking it off as putting it on. But I must say, that looks good. Let's give her a little startup. Well, I mean, she sounds pretty healthy right now, so we're gonna go on a little drive around, and then I'll come back, give it some revs, and we'll check it out and put everything else back in. But yeah, dude, it looks great so far. Alrighty, so that's the full install complete. That's your intake and charge pipe. So that took me about 2.5 hours. It was really easy. I mean, my experience has gone up with this stuff a little bit, so it's a little bit easier for me, but it's possible for everyone. I'll put all the links for all the tools I used in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching. 4Bang out.